My name is Leslie Showers, principal of Stillman Valley High School. It is my honor and intent to provide a solid understanding of Stillman Valley High School's performance as measured by several indicators. When data are available, I have compared our SVHS performance to that of other schools in our area and across the state to provide additional contextual understanding. Thank you to our Meridian Activities Director, Mrs. Heather Aldrich, for providing our high school's activity participation data. This slide represents the participation levels by number of activities, which includes both athletics and activities. 476 students out of our student body of 613 were involved in at least one activity at SVHS last year, which accounted for over 77% of our student body. 349 students were involved in at least two activities, which accounted for 56% of our student body. This graph extends all the way to our one student last year who was involved in 10 activities. Mrs. Aldrich works closely with our students, coaches, and advisors and actively updates Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram to promote our activities and athletic programs. The 12+ Student Award, which began last year, seeks to recognize our high school students who participate in a minimum of 3 activities per school year in an effort to encourage our students to invest in a more comprehensive high school experience. Thank you to SVHS Assistant Principal, Mr. Jeff Volz, for providing our discipline data. There were several positive gains in our 2017-2018 data. I'm happy to share that this past school year, we experienced decreases in all of the following after-school detentions not served, dress code violations, misconduct, insubordination, and heat not served. Of the remaining incidents tracked, we saw slight increases in cell phone violations, failure to serve Saturday school detentions, and tardy violations. Mr. Volz works closely with students, parents, faculty, and our school counselors to communicate our building expectations and to provide additional support for struggling students whenever possible. Our school counselors, district college and career coordinator, and school nurse are partnering with administration and faculty to have a positive impact on some of our students who often struggle in all areas, academically, socially, emotionally, and physically. It is important to track our low socioeconomic rates because students with low SES often have different subsets of strengths and potential issues. Another reason to track these numbers is that a large amount of research has been conducted indicating that as low SES numbers increase in a school or district, student achievement is likely to decrease. We are dedicated to educational equity, so regardless of socioeconomic status, all students have equal access to our most challenging courses. In comparison to similar low SES high schools in Illinois, it's worth noting that this past year almost all of these schools experienced stagnant or decreasing low SES populations, with the exception of Wakanda. In comparison to our neighboring high schools, almost all of these schools experienced stagnant or slight decreases in their low SES rates. When comparing our low SES rate to several academically high-performing high schools in Illinois, the trend of decreasing low SES rates continues with this group of schools. Our low SES rate is still significantly higher than the schools in this comparison, with the exception of Hananiga. A major criterion included in the Illinois State Board of Education's Every Student Succeeds Act, or ESSA, is 9th grade students on track to graduate. Our graduation rate for the class of 2017 was unusually low due to several students who were not successful, even in alternative school settings. We realized that it is critical that we track each student's earned credits at the end of each semester and grades throughout the semester to determine if we need to pivot early and intervene to get students back on track. SVHS requires that each student earn a minimum of 28 credit hours to graduate on time, which means that ideally, each student is earning a minimum of 7 credits per school year, 3.5 credits per semester. We are very proud of our class of 2018 graduation rate, a testament to the focused work of our faculty, counseling team, and administration to support each student on an individual basis. To better meet the needs of our students, we offer Flex, the alternative online night school program at SVHS for students in need of credit recovery. Our teacher leaders and departments also evaluate our current courses during the first semester each year to determine if we are meeting the needs of all students to be college and career ready. We are also using Illinois Virtual and BYU online courses, as well as Alex Math for students in need of credit recovery and for students who want to be challenged in addition to their SVHS coursework. These programs, as well as more creative interventions, may be needed to meet the needs of struggling students in some of our upcoming grad classes. A high school's graduation rate is yet another criterion included in ISB's Every Student Succeeds Act. Schools self-report for their graduation rate, and since 2011, the formula is as follows. The number of graduates for a given year divided by the number of first-time ninth graders in the fall 4 years prior, plus students who transfer in, minus students that transfer out, emigrate, or pass away during the 4 years following their first enrollment in high school. Students with disabilities that stay in school to the age that they are legally permitted to do so do count against graduation rate data. In comparison to similar low SES high schools, our 13-year graduation rate average is higher than all of these schools except Hampshire. In comparison to neighboring high schools, our 13-year grad rate average is higher than most, but lower than Byron, Oregon, and Genoa Kingston. In comparison to academically high-performing high schools in Illinois, our 13-year grad rate average is 2 to 5% points lower than almost all of the included high schools, and just slightly higher than Hananika's. Beginning with the 2015-2016 school year in Illinois, the ACT became optional and unfunded by the state for the first time in nearly 15 years. This component of the data analysis will continue to be included, but the data will only represent the students in the graduating class that elect to take the ACT on their own each year, since it's no longer free and required by the state. The 2016-2017 school year was the first year of the new Illinois required SAT exam for all juniors. Neither the ACT nor the SAT were provided by the state in 2015-16. So 55% of the class of 2017 took the ACT on their own. Currently, approximately 30% of the class of 2019 has taken the ACT, which is up from the class of 2018's 22%. We will continue to encourage all of our students to take the ACT on their own if they're college bound, as the exam will serve as another data point for college admissions consideration. The SAT is based on a 1,600-point scale with 2 sections, math and evidence-based English reading and writing, each scored between 200 and 800, and the optional essay evaluated separately. With the new SAT, there is no penalty for wrong answers, so your raw score is the sum of the number of questions you answer correctly. Raw scores are converted to scaled scores, which are used to determine percentile ranks. The percentile indicates how well you did compared to other test takers. For example, if you score in the 72nd percentile, you did better than 72% of test takers. Our students in the class of 2018 and this year's class of 2019, the first 2 classes to take the required SAT, performed very well in comparison to these similar low SES high schools, outperforming almost all of the included schools both years. The SVHS class of 2019 significantly outperformed most of the local high schools, only slightly underperforming to Byron and Pecatonica. In comparison to the selected academically high-achieving high schools, the SVHS class of 2019 significantly underperformed on the SAT. We will continue to align our curriculum, instruction, and assessments to the SAT expectations and format to give all of our students the very best opportunities to perform well on the SAT. And we'll utilize additional SAT prep to ensure that our students are positioned for excellence at the next level. I'm very pleased to share that we again saw significant gains in our advanced placement performance on the spring 2018 exams, with the highest percentage of passing scores since the 2006-2007 school year, while having more than 3 times the number of students completing AP exams compared to the 2007 year. Students enrolled in last year's AP Biology, AP English, AP Spanish, and AP US History experienced the greatest test success, and students in our AP Chemistry and AP Government courses saw the greatest increases from the previous year in passing exam scores. The action plan associated with our Culture School Improvement Goal has an overarching emphasis on cultivating an engaging learning environment for students. Student choice is defined as a form of student-centered teaching that is intended to increase the student's level of learning and sense of ownership in the classroom by increasing his or her level of involvement by giving him or her choice within one's own learning. This process may include student choice in depth of content, skills to review and apply, as well as opportunities for scaffolded lessons and increased rigor. Our second school improvement goal is our academic SIP goal, which engages students in the process of tracking and analyzing their performance data and their SMART goals in order to make our students more self-aware of their academic progress, as well as the unique supports that students may need in order to meet their academic goals. Various degrees of student data tracking, either by student or by teacher, existed within our courses, but there was no building-wide systematic process for student data tracking. This new process of students tracking and analyzing their academic progress and goals is the first step to creating individual digital portfolios that will ideally demonstrate each student's individual skills and interests aligned to his or her post-secondary endeavors. Our final SIP goal is our systems goal, which is used to create a plan for professional development for our faculty and staff in order to meet our culture and academic SIP goals. The key steps in this action plan are focused on professional development that empowers our faculty to embed more opportunities for student choice in their course projects, activities, and assessments. The plan also includes initial startup PD that was necessary at the start of this school year to train our faculty and staff how to use Google Docs and folders for student data tracking. The focus at SVHS for the 2018-2019 school year includes our 3 school improvement goals, aligned and rigorous curriculum, instruction, and assessment, college and career readiness measures, the pursuit of internships, work study, apprenticeships, and scheduled college and manufacturing visits, SAT prep, and our continued focus on a healthy, positive school culture and climate. Thank you.